It's Thursday, August 21st. In the headlines, the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions and Finance Ministry clash over public sector pay increase. In business news, corporate financial results are out. Regionally, St. Lucia moves to utilize CARICOM arrest warrant bill. And in sports, reggae boy Leon Bailey suffers injury in first training session with AS Roma. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Tensions have re-emerged between the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU, and the Finance Ministry over public sector wages. Finance Minister Favour Williams says workers received a non-retroactive 7.5% salary increase for 2025-2026. The JCTU refuted this in a statement, saying the figure is not a new raise but a deferred benefit from the 2022-2025 compensation restructuring, finalized in 2024. According to the JCTU, the 7.5% figure cited by the minister is not a new salary increase for the current fiscal year. The union criticized the ministry for what it describes as misrepresenting the facts and called for honest, good faith communication to avoid damaging trust. Newly installed Jamaica Teacher Association President Mark Malver is urging the Education Ministry to scrap its plan for the 6 STEAM schools, branding it a vanity project. He says the government's focus is misplaced, even as he welcomes the $400 million upgrade of technical high school labs, noting far more is needed. The details in this report.
Speaking at the JTA's 61st annual conference on Monday, newly installed President Mark Malava blasted the Education Ministry's plans to build 6 STEAM schools, dismissing it as a vanity project designed to boost political egos rather than address the real needs of teachers and students.
There is no need, Minister, to build more schools in Jamaica at this time. Nonetheless, the government has borrowed $133 million to build 6 STEAM schools across the country, with ground already being broken in St. Catherine. If we are not experiencing a population explosion, it defies logic to be borrowing money to build these schools when we have a number of high schools that are underpopulated. I dare say these projects are nothing more but legacy projects because someone in government wants a school to be named after them.
Mr. Malava is questioning the government's priorities, arguing that plans to build 6 new STEAM schools may be misplaced.
We are moving to build more institutions ostensibly. They are being termed as STEAM schools, yet many of our technical high schools on which the concept of STEAM and STEM was built on are being starved of funding. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. The proposal to build these 6 so-called elite STEM schools will do little to break the back of this apartheid education system. In fact, this move will only further entrench the apartheid education system because only the elites, cream of the crop, will get the opportunity to attend them.
He says while he welcomes the government's $400 million technical high school lab upgrade program, more is needed.
I must commend the minister again for the move to allocate $400 million per year to renovate the TVET and STEM labs. It's a start, but it's a drop in the bucket, Minister. Drop in the bucket. Given the poor state of our TVET and STEM labs, many of which have equipment that are as old as the Egyptian pyramids, it is going to take significant investment of capital. At this rate, Minister, it is going to take at least 20 years to overhaul our labs.
Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Danita Rodney.
The Jamaica Debates Commission is working out the final touches for the national debates that are to be held in the lead-up to the general elections set for September 3, 2025. The national debates are being coordinated by the JDC under the themes Social Issues on Saturday, August 23, 2025, The Economy on Tuesday, August 26, 2025, and Leaders on Thursday, August 28, 2025. The live 90-minute debate will be held at the Creative Production and Training Center starting at 9 p.m. We have more details in the following report. While sharing details about the upcoming debates, Commissioner Chairman Brian Schmidt, flanked by the Jamaica Labour Party's Delroy Williams and the People's National Party's Colin Campbell, sought to clarify how the Commission chose the journalists who will moderate and ask the questions.
At every debate cycle, the commissioners evaluate and assess journalists whom it believes can assist as questioners and moderators, and from that assessment, a pool of potential journalists is established. As a courtesy to one of our key stakeholders, the political parties, the pool is shared for their views. Despite this sharing and feedback received from the parties, the JDC has maintained its authority, responsibility, and purpose to make the final decision on moderators and questioners for the debates.
For the social issues debate, the PNP has chosen Damian Crawford, Raymond Price, and Mrs. Sophia Fraser-Binns. The JLP's team will include Pernell Charles Jr., Kamina Johnson-Smith, and Matthew Samuda. The PNP's Julian Robinson, Peter Bunting, and Keisha Anderson will participate in the debate on the economy, while Favour Williams, Dr. Christopher Tufton, and Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon will represent the JLP. There are many entrepreneurs who started off working for others before branching off to pursue their own business. In this episode of Young Bosses, we meet Chef Trishana McMain, who is living her dream, pursuing her passion for cooking for others while working for another kitchen, and she's a boss there as well.
This is Trishana's Wraps. We started a little bit before COVID, and then after COVID, we just branch out to start doing pop-ups. So I normally do lunch, so lunch menus, catering, and stuff like that. I am a chef. I work for one of the top leading restaurants in Jamaica. I am the senior sous chef for them. So this is just my away from work. My biggest challenge, I would say just getting the people to do what I need them to do, because nobody really do what you need to do for you more than you, if that makes sense. Yeah, that has been my biggest challenge. Training repeatedly. Oh, don't do it this way, do it that way. Put this in it, don't put that in it. So it's a constantly just repeating yourself and going back over whatever is it that you need to go over. So this is very interesting now. So I think it was sometime last year, if I'm not mistaken, I was on vacation, and I've been wanting, as I said to you, I started doing it during COVID, right? So I've been wanting to do something, right? And I was home. On the Thursdays, I was free, just laying home. And I just called my brother-in-law and I say, you know that thing, Summit, I want to go and do it. And he's like, all right, I'll get you in. And it started from there, and it started sometime last year, in August, I think. I never stopped. Every Thursday and every Friday, I am here. It has been good. The exposure is really good because as a chef, you want to be out there and you want your name to go out there and you want people to know about you. So it has been good. And this is where I get the exposure, the big exposure. If you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. So whatever is it that you aspire to do, go ahead, just shoot at it. Just get up, stop procrastinate. Don't procrastinate, because there was a point when I used to procrastinate and now I don't. So I just went out, say, all right, I'm going to do this, and I get up and I just make it happen. You can contact me at Trishana's Wraps on Instagram, and my telephone number is 876-463-9258.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Noted companies on the Jamaica Stock Exchange have released their financial results. ISP Finance Services Limited unaudited financials for the 6 months ending June 30, 2025 reports a 55% decline in 6-month net profit. Kintyre Holdings Limited unaudited financials for the 6 months ended June 30, 2025 reports a 6-month net profit of $25.84 million. Lumber Depot Limited audited financials for the 12 months ended April 30, 2025 reports year-end net profit of $135.88 million. Sagicor Select Funds Limited unaudited financials for the 6 months ended June 30, 2025 report 6 months net loss of $121.37 million. Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PBCJ, Dr. Wayne Henry, has said that the Jamaican economy is expected to grow within a 2 to 3% range during the period of July to September this year. He said the main downside risks to the projection are the possibility of adverse weather conditions, disruptive productive activities in key industries, and weakened external demand due to trade disruptions caused by the tariffs. For the trading period ending August 20, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Toll road operator Trans Jamaica Highway Limited with 22,557,763 units traded, representing 62.61% of market sales volume. Microfinance firm Dollar Financial Services Limited with 2,093,779 units traded, representing 5.81% of market sales volume. Investment House Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 2,023,007 units traded, representing 5.62% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On August 20, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $88.68 million purchased and US $85.22 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.50 per dollar, selling the US at $160.92 and buying the US at $159.42. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $6.16 per transaction, with selling at $118.01 and buying at $111.85. The British pound yielded Forex traders 72 cents in profits, with selling at $216.66 and buying at $215.94. For our credit report tip of the day, dreaming big is easy. Funding those dreams is the hard part. Too often, business owners let a low credit score discourage them from even walking into the bank. The truth? You don't need a perfect score to create opportunities. What you need is a preparation, a plan, and the confidence to approach your banker with solutions, not problems. The good news, even with a score under 600, there are smart ways to approach your banker and position yourself for success. So you can make payments twice per month to lower balances. You can add an authorized user to accounts with good history, and you can request a limit increase every 6 months. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, in St. Lucia, lawmakers are moving to tighten the fight against crime with new regional legislation. The CARICOM arrest warrant bill, now before Parliament, would allow for the arrest and surrender of fugitives across member states. But amid a recent spike in gun violence, Crime Prevention Minister Jeremiah Norbert says tougher laws must be matched by stronger enforcement and coordination across the justice system.
St. Lucia lawmakers are pushing to strengthen regional justice with the CARICOM arrest warrant treaty bill, a measure that would establish a system for the arrest and surrender of wanted persons across the Caribbean community. Crime Prevention Minister and former police officer Jeremiah Norbert expressed strong support for the legislation.
Just because there are gaps in our systems, and the transnational nature of crime can make it very difficult to curb this entire crime situation. What this CARICOM arrest warrant bill intends to do is to close some of these gaps. It does so by establishing a single unified legal framework for the arrest and surrender of fugitives across CARICOM. With one warrant recognized by all member states, we remove the safe havens and the needless delays.
A recent wave of violence in Castries, including 2 deaths and multiple injuries in separate shootings, has intensified calls to tighten laws on crime, firearms, and gangs. Norbert praised decisive action against emboldened criminals and urged the judiciary to work in step with legislative and executive efforts.
Too often we see the police rearrest individuals who are already on bail for firearm offenses, only to see them reoffend within days or weeks, and most times even more serious offenses like murder. And as we speak, we are grappling with instances of this nature in St. Lucia right now. And I've said it before, it is demotivating for a policeman to leave his family at home, put his life at risk, to go out there, pursue criminals, arrest them. And I don't know, Mr. Speaker, I won't point fingers. And I'm being very careful because the Attorney General is here, so I'm very careful who I point my fingers at. But I think it's very unfair that when the police put in all that hard work, I don't know if it is on the part of the prosecution or if it is on the part of the judiciary, that we see individuals who are caught with firearms or ammunition. Within 2 or 3 days of them being arrested, we see them back in the streets.
Norbert warned that loopholes in the justice system, including quickly paid bail for serious offenses, continue to undermine law enforcement.
And I don't think that we are sending the right message. And when we, as parliamentarians, when we, as an executive, come to the House to make an amendment to the Firearms Act, Mr. Speaker, it is not to dictate to the judiciary how to do their work, but it should signal the intention of the people. Because when we come here, it is not, we don't just wake up on a morning and decide that we're going to give or make firearm penalties stiffer. That is after consultation, that is after discussion, that is after getting pressure from those men and women, those young people whom we represent. we make a decision and a determination to come to the House and to make amendments. And those individuals who have the responsibility to administer the laws, as I said, we will not tell them how to do their work, but the signal that is out there is not the best one.
Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley is calling for stronger projections and greater responsibility in Caribbean journalism. Speaking at the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 56th Annual General Assembly, she urged media practitioners to embrace their role in shaping culture and educating people about their heritage as the region prepares for Carifesta.
The time has come to establish a regional truth and verification mechanism. So says Prime Minister Mia Mottley, who explains that while it would have local operations in each territory, it would be managed at the regional level. She suggested the idea while addressing those in the fraternity during the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 56th Annual General Assembly and Hall of Fame induction.
It is important for you to make that decision collectively, because in the absence of it, our people will continue to be victims of scurrilous allegations, scurrilous fake news, and indeed make decisions without a buttress of any kind of factual, any tissue of truth for that matter. And worse still, because of the manipulation of AI, being able to literally put words in the mouths of people on images, God knows what our world will look like 5, 10, 15 years from now if we do not take a stance to be able to have a validation mechanism.
Prime Minister Mottley reminds journalists and broadcasters that they are their country's lifeblood.
Long before social media was viral, you made us vital. You were the lifeblood of our region. I have another speech in me, not for tonight, but one that will speak to the very issue of the relationship between individual and state and technology and power. And part and parcel of what we are managing or not managing well is those relationships. And unless we come to grips with them, if we use a 1970s or a 1980s or a 1990s mindset to fight the battles of the third decade of the 21st century, we will not win them.
2 people were inducted into the CBU Media Hall of Fame, Trinidad and Tobago's Dr. Bruce Paddington and St. Vincent and the Grenadines' Christopher Laird. CBU's Secretary General Sonia Gill was also honored with an Outstanding Service Award. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
The Caribbean Examinations Council is rolling out a brand new qualification designed to change the way students are assessed across the region. It's called the Caribbean Targeted Education Certificate, or CTEC, and officials say it will offer students more flexibility while keeping standards high. GBN News' Beverly Tellisford tells us more.
The Caribbean Examinations Council CXC has unveiled plans for a brand new qualification, the Caribbean Targeted Education Certificate CTEC, aimed at transforming the way students are assessed and certified in the region. The details were provided by Registrar and Chief Executive Officer Dr. Wayne Wesley during the official release of CXC's 2025 examination results. The CTEC program is set to begin as a pilot in September 2025, with the first batch of certifications to be issued in 2026. Unlike traditional examinations, the CTEC is structured to place the learner at the center of the process, taking into account their individual interests, abilities, and pace of learning.
So we have reimagined our philosophy, and we have taken that philosophy, and we have now created what we call the Caribbean Targeted Education Certificate. And what that will do is bring a lot more flexibility in catering to the individuals within the school system, taking the current CSEC standard syllabus and breaking that down into modules related and relevant learning outcomes that students can take in steps and progression towards achieving their certification.
Dr. Wesley explained that the new qualification will be administered at the same standard as CSEC and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination CAPE. He stressed that CTEC is not intended to lower the bar for students, but instead to provide an alternative pathway to success, especially for those whose skills and talents may not align with traditional subject-based examinations.
And so students can now mix and match. Schools can now provide opportunities for students to select what aspect of a program that they would want to pursue, all at the same standard. We are not watering down the standards are the same. But what we are doing is recognizing preferences, recognizing learning pace, recognizing the amount of content one can absorb at any one time, and creating a system that will be flexible enough for every student, regardless of their preference, regardless of the pace at which they learn, regardless of the amount of content they can absorb at any one time, can still achieve their full potential.
Dr. Wesley added that the students will be afforded significant flexibility to assist them in achieving and demonstrating the level of competency acquired. The Council says this move reflects a wider commitment to innovation in regional education and a shift towards certification that better prepares Caribbean students for the evolving demands of the global workforce. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
We kick off our sports report with news on football. Jamaican winger Leon Bailey has reportedly suffered a muscle injury just hours into his first training session with Italian Serie A club AS Roma. According to local media reports, Bailey, who officially joined Roma on loan from Aston Villa, took to the pitch for his debut training session on Wednesday. However, reports from Sky Sports Italia indicate that the 28-year-old clutched his leg toward the end of the session and did not complete the full workout. As of now, AS Roma has not released an official statement regarding the severity of the injury or how long Bailey may be sidelined. We now look to cricket, as Cricket West Indies has confirmed a home series of 7 youth one-day internationals against Sri Lanka to be staged in Antigua from August 25th through to September 16th. Nasir Mohammed has the details.
Barbados batter Joshua Dawn will captain the West Indies under-19s. Dawn heads into the assignment after steering Barbados to the Rising Stars under-19 crown, where he topped the tournament's run charts with 328 runs and was named MVP. The opening 4 youth ODIs are scheduled for Coolidge Cricket Ground, with the final 3 to be played at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Play is set to begin at 9:30 a.m. local time each day and is expected to wrap up by 5 p.m. Selectors have assembled a balanced group drawn from standout performances at the recent regional under-19 event, combining power in the top order with varied pace and spin options. The matchup forms a key building block in the West Indies' pathway to the 2026 ICC Men's Under-19 World Cup, which is slated for Zimbabwe and Namibia in January 2026. In addition, the regional side is due to take part in a tri-series with England and the USA later this year as part of its preparation. Sri Lanka Under-19, whose program regularly graduates players to full international honours, is due to arrive in Antigua on August 25th and will spend 5 days acclimatizing before the series opener. The visitors are scheduled to depart on September 16th. CWI's Director of Cricket Miles Bascom said, "The board is pleased to host Sri Lanka and expects a competitive stretch of cricket that challenges West Indies prospects in new conditions and match scenarios." He noted that series like this are central to the player pathway, testing skills, building confidence and clarifying the standards required for senior international cricket, while also strengthening ties between the two boards.
And that's the news on PBCJ. Pleasant viewing.